The Ahmed Kathrada Foundation has started with the countdown to the centenary of a struggle stalwart and former Robben Island prisoner Ahmed Kathrada. The foundation is hosting the annual banquet in Johannesburg. Now, SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter will be presented with the Kathy Award for his good service and courageous work. Ziniko Mhlaba joins us live from this evening, from Sandton. A very good evening to you, Ziniko. Tell us more about this auspicious occasion and who will be receiving this award from SARS.
A very good morning to you, Masha. Yes, indeed, the person who will be honored today is definitely, the SARS Commissioner. We know him very well. He has served in the financial sector for some time, both in private and also in the public sector, especially SARS. He started off as the SARS CEO and Deputy Commissioner between the years of 2004 and 2009, went to the private sector and returned in 2019 as a SARS Commissioner. So what the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation is doing right now, they are starting the countdown towards the centenary of the legendary struggle stalwart, but also former Robben Islander, as a prisoner, that Ahmed Kathrada, whom we know that he was born in the late 1920s, between 1928 or 1929 there. He died in 2017 at the age of 87. So what they are doing in 2029, he would have turned 100 years. So the foundation is building up to that particular program. But to tell us more about the event and the type of the person who's going to receive that top honor today is the foundation CEO. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to us about the criteria that you looked into when you're identifying the person who's going to receive this particular honorary award, but also talk to us about the importance of this in the context of where the country is right now with all that is happening both in politics and governance, but generally in society.
So this award is built around two key words, courage and service. The courage to do the right thing at all times, the courage to do it irrespective of the consequences, and the courage to do it all the time. It's about service to the country without expectation of reward. Those are the two key words that best describe Ahmed Kathrada, besides his activism and everything else. But when you talk about Kathrada and what describes him, for us it's those two words. We looked at how to make our annual banquet meaningful. And we came to the conclusion that this can't just be about the foundation. It has to be about the foundation acknowledging those who deserve acknowledgement in our country. And we then looked on the basis of those two key words, who would fit that in our country today? Who deserves this recognition? And Edward Kieswetter's name comes up because of the outstanding work that he's done at SARS after it had been so severely damaged by state capture. But we are also awarding it to Ismail Momoniat, the former DG at one point in National Treasury, but DDG in National Treasury, for the work that he has done in terms of getting South Africa off the blacklisting. But importantly, for the work that he did in preventing Treasury from being totally captured during the state capture era. So those two we felt were the appropriate people to be recognized today, and the recognition will be bestowed by Reverend Molo from the South African Council of Churches, the General Secretary, because it's the SACC that led the initial understanding of what state capture was about.
Let's talk about the work and the memory and the contribution that was made by the stalwart and that the kid. He joined the struggle, in his 20s. He also served in Robben Island for 8 years, went beyond the 18 years in Robben Island, went to the Pollsmoor prison. These are the generation, with the likes of Nelson Mandela, these are the generation of people who had hope. We had hoped that by 30 years into democracy, things will be better. What's your reflection looking at his contribution, what he stood for, courage and service, and where things are now in South Africa?
Well, I've heard him answer this question many times. And Uncle Kathy's response was that you need to take a long-term view on how you evaluate any country and its progress. And he's on record as having said that when you look at where South Africa was pre-1990 and where it is today, it is a completely different country. It is not where we would like it to be, but it is certainly not where it was. And on the issues of racism, he makes the same point, that no country, not even the USA, in over 300 years, has been able to effectively deal with an issue like racism. Therefore, to expect that it won't be a feature of South African life is not real. It's an unrealistic expectation. So therefore, change, in our view, is not where we should have been. Had we not had the level of corruption that this country has had, I think our progress would have been much further. But if you want to see what the country can do, the G20 is reflective of that. When there's a will, when there's energy, when there's focus, and when the whole country requires it, then we can deliver, government and civil society and business. We need that kind of partnership and that attitude to deal with the myriad of issues that South Africa has. But I think lastly, leaders have to build trust in our democracy. If that trust is not rebuilt, then I'm afraid the kind of authoritarian direction that many other countries are going might well be something that people would want to think about here.
Mr. Bolton, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Good luck with your occasion today. Thank you very much, Master. That's the CEO of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Mr. Bolton. They give us more insights in terms of what is it that we can look forward to today. But, the guests have arrived. The mood is very much, telling that indeed this is going to be a special occasion. We see some of them are walking in there. So we're expecting the program to start in the next 40 minutes or so at 6 o'clock to be precise, or just after 6 o'clock. So that's where we leave things at right now here in Sandton. Is back to you in studio.
Special occasion indeed. Thank you so much for that update, Ziniko Mhlaba.